Just before anything else, right now the families of the Balibo Five are meeting with the Australian Federal Police. The meetings started at 3 o'clock, and as you know, we have been onto this for the last couple of weeks. The AFP dropped their investigation into the murder of the 5 Australian journalists killed in Indonesia, killed by the Special Forces. Well, they were killed in East Timor, but they were killed by the Indonesian Special Forces in 1975. A coronial inquest found they were not killed in the heat of any battle, but they were executed because they were trying to tell the story of the Indonesian invasion into East Timor. So a couple of weeks ago, the AFP very quietly announced that they were dropping the investigation. They told the families, but they still have not told the families why. We asked them, the families asked them, and they would not tell them. Hopefully, fingers crossed, at 3 o'clock today, they are giving them a full and frank explanation. And once they've done that, I think they can explain it to the rest of Australia. They gave us a statement a couple of weeks ago that simply said that there were problems with jurisdictions. Now, they would not explain what that meant. They would not explain what those problems are. They said they didn't have enough evidence, but they won't clearly say why they have dropped this investigation. It led us to the Attorney General's office. They said nothing to do with them, which is actually not true. The experts would disagree with that, the ones that I've talked to anyway. They say the advice to drop this came from the AG's office. So the Attorney General's office pointed us to the Minister for Justice. This is the old two-card trick. You get two ministers just passing somebody back and forward to while you search for an answer. They pointed us to the Minister for Justice, Michael Keenan, and they have been appalling and insulting to deal with at Michael Keenan's office. They will not return telephone calls. The disrespect shown by the Minister's office makes you feel ashamed to know that he is the person in charge of justice in Australia. They simply gave us a similar statement, even though it had less words in it, that the families were told nothing. That's what we got. But again, thankfully, today, and let's just hold fire here, the AFP is talking with the families. I've been in contact with 3 of the families, and I look forward to finding out what answers they are getting today. I think it's important that they get those answers first, and then I think it is important that the rest of us find out what happened. Why has the investigation been dropped? As I said before, we have pursued the Nazis over war crimes for decades. The Pol Pot regime, we pursued them for decades over it. And why is the world not doing the same thing over 5 men who were trying to do their job in East Timor, murdered by the Indonesians? Why can't we make an investigation out of it? There was a coroner's inquest in 2007 saying why and how it had all happened. They had they'd pulled in witnesses. They had statements. They did a really good job on this in 2007, and yet the AFP is not able to make some form of a case stick. The investigation is dropped before we can drag this into any international court. There are big questions here that need to be addressed by the AFP and by the government. Why can't we go after the men who did this? What help are we asking from Indonesia? And why is our government no longer involved in the murder of 5 of its citizens?